And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back into the Dragon's Den. My name's Digital Dragon, 3D printing variety streamer Twitch. Welcome on. Nick, Geiger Counter, Western One. Welcome in, sis. Hope everybody's doing good today. Might not be a massively long stream. We may push plastic tonight, depending on how easy the next few steps go. We're getting kind of down to the end. Hey Timor, hey Aussie, Mr. Wizix, welcome on in. We may push plastic, or we may pushing plastic to Thursday, just because I've got a big briefing in the morning and I have to finish some slides up tonight, which means having to do some more work later tonight after stream. Yeah, good morning, Aussie. Exactly. So we're gonna wait and let some people trickle in, but meanwhile, I wanted to show off a couple of things because, well, you buy things, gotta print them. So here is my Maker World clock, one of the Bamboo Lab kits that comes out. They have it actually set to be printed in like 4 different colors, which didn't make any sense to me. So I changed it up and I printed it in the lime green and the nanotube gray. So it comes out pretty neat. And so far it works. I mean, it's a cheap desk clock, if nothing else, with a little bit organizer behind it. We'll have something else that we can throw on the desk, or who knows, maybe Mrs. Dragon will grab it and take it. And then also the last couple of days, we're getting ready for this West Rep Rap Festival. So I don't know. Oh, nice, Aussie. Your new Bamboo A1 combo comes to. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Timor, can I pick your brain? Clearest filament for lens on ERCF. You want clear PETG. Okay. I've heard good things about Overture. I have used Matter Hackers, Crystal Series PETG, and I've purchased some Polymaker Clear PETG. This is the stuff that I've been using. Once again, it's Matter Hackers Crystal Series PETG. It's not clear, but it prints very well. I use this to do diffusers for my lights, which is what you're going to be doing. If you want it clear, then you want to get a clear PETG. And then you print it hot and slow. And I do mean slow. Go out to printables and search clear PETG or clear glass. And it'll probably come up with either Kitchen or somebody else's. And there will be some specific guidelines in there of how hot and then how slow. And the big thing is you've got to use, what is it? Give me one. Setting for the infill, because it's 100% infill pattern. And I'm trying to, I think it's monotonic rectilinear, because if you do standard rectilinear, it does all one way, and then it flips over and goes all the other way. The monotonic linear, I believe it is, does it all in the same direction. I'm sorry, it's aligned rectilinear. So aligned rectilinear, you go slow, you go hot, and then every layer is in the same direction. And that way you'll get the closest thing to a glass clear finish. Start crossing the patterns and just standard rectilinear, it will not come. And Westery, yes, I saw that, and the first thing I thought of was I'm blowing the damn toilet up. And then I thought of you and said, yeah, I've got to repost this and tag Westery. And if you don't know, nope rope coming up out of a toilet. So yeah, the last couple of days have been spent trying to get ready for Murph, trying to read up on the CXC and what I'm going to need to do for this stage of the build right now. But when I say getting ready for Murph, so we created the Twitch QR code. Then we created the YouTube QR. And yes, they are, the QR codes themselves are the same size, but this panel is slightly bigger on the YouTube one. I did them separately, and little old me didn't bother to look at the size of the first one I did when I created the second one. I was lucky enough to get two of these to actually come out and work. So there was that. And then I've been working on getting some signage together. So, we'll have some signage that we'll put up with the printers that not only give the people looking at the printer a little bit of information about it, but it'll also give Mrs. Dragon a cheat sheet to look from, as I'm not at the table all the time and she's getting hit up. So, and then of course, the one for this printer, the Blackbox, right here with the KB3D logo up there. So these will just be on the little standing placards. And I'll have them for each printer that I wind up bringing. So I've got the one for Speedy Dragon, which was the BZBot, Dragon Spawn, which is the Annex Engineering K3, and then the new printer, Tiamat. And you may say, Tiamat, well, that doesn't have a dragon in it. Well, Tiamat is a five-headed dragon, five-headed chromatic dragon in the D&D lore. So with this being a five-headed tool changer, I figured why not look and research some names for five-headed dragons. So the black box is codenamed Tiamat. Hey, Karen Chow, welcome in. Thank you. Karen, you are the best. Thank you for sending me those files. That is awesome. I'm gonna have to work on your suggestion. Do you see two bamboos in the background? Well, either that or you're seeing double. Have you been drinking today? Yes. Yes, there are two. So Dragoon 1 came to us. It stowed away in the moving truck as we came home from Rocky Mountain. And then Dragoon 2 came to us, what, 2 weekends ago? When we went to Micro Center in Charlotte for their soft opening. So, hey, Shenanigans, welcome in. Not at all, Karen. Go ahead. Are you doing? Yeah, you're doing your tutorial Tuesday later, right? So, everybody, please feel free to bring up a second browser window and listen to me, and at the same time, listen and and watch Karen as she goes through her tutorial Tuesdays. Hey, Shenanigans, how's it going? I was lurking in your stream a little bit today, in and out. Today was one of those days that went from 2 to 3 meetings to like 8. Stupid. Didn't you get a custom build plate? I have a custom build plate. It is out there on Twitter. It is still not to my house yet. Ember Prototypes, I guess they use the remail or the mailer that the mail system that they use has said that it's in the States, turned over to USPS. USPS still says it's waiting for it in Washington, state of Washington. I don't know. I don't. But yeah. That energy pills and the blood of life. Thank you, Mrs. Dragon. So you might see me snack on. Now let me move things out of the way that don't need to have the potential for coffee to spill on them. Okay. Ooh. Is it your birthday, Tugboat? Oh, not a problem, Karen. Not a problem. In fact, I can do a proper shout. I think. Ooh, I remembered. It's been so long since I've done that. Yep, and Mrs. Dragon is so looking forward to seeing everybody at Murph. In fact, we went out and had breakfast with Evil Diesel on Sunday, and we've decided we're going to leave Thursday, drive part way, spend the night somewhere, and then drive the rest of the way in on Friday. That way, we're not doing like a 12+ hour drive into Murph, having to set up Friday night, and then just be wasted. Yes, happy birthday, Tugboat. I would sing, but I prefer to keep my audience. So I'm not going to sing for you. Just, heartfelt wishes. You're not home though, which is sad. Well, hopefully you're not working. But yes, so that's kind of where we're at right now. I do have a KB3D plate on this. It's actually the plate out of the Trident over here. Because, well, I figured it was a KB3D sponsored printer. I might as well throw a KB3D plate on it at least. How my plate comes in. Westry sidebar, where did you get the car model like last year? What car model? Oh, and by the way, I've encountered an issue with Speedy Dragon. So for whatever reason, as I was printing, we started kind of going off kilter a bit. It's moving, so it was printing like this. So it is printing like this. So it is moving forward, right, at an angle. Yeah, it's a major shift. And looking at it as it was printing, it looks like one of the belts loosened up. So I'll have to Well, I'm gonna have to pull it out from underneath there anyhow when we go to pack it next. But I need to look at the belts and fix the belts on it. That's all it is. Um, Maybe it was a Jeep or a, oh, like the little Doom buggy. So the little Doom buggy was a buggy. Oh crud! 3D sets maybe. Yes. Here we go. It's yeah, it was a little Doom buggy back here. Um, yeah. That's what I noticed is one of the belts is loose, so I just need to see if one of the belts came back. So these are 3D printable cars, and they can be um made into RC cars as well. So Steve Builds just built one of the Model 17, and then Prusa, the Prusa Mark IV came with buggy. Oh, there we go. The Model 11 Standy. So this is the one that it came with as a model that came with the Mark IV. So you can go on here to this site. It's 3dsets.com. You can purchase the files for and then print your own. And they also have, I believe they have kits that you can buy through them for the actual RC, or at least they give you the instructions on. Yeah, there you go, Aussie. Set, is it set or sets? Sets, plural. 3dsets.com. This is more accurate link here. Oh, but yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I don't think it's the stepper because one, they're new. It's a new build, and two, the uh, the second attempt printing, I cut the speeds in half, and it still had the same exact issue. So that's telling me it's a belt. And like I said, when I looked at the belts as it was going back to front, I was seeing one of the belts flapping. That's telling me one side of the belts is why it's skipping towards an angle. So yeah, yep. Don't worry, Ozzy. Oh, you're fine, Westery. Fine. So we've kind of gone over some of the stuff we've been working on in the background to get things done. One of the other things is, I've been printing coins. So um, I, I'm getting there. I've almost got my full box done. I'll be done by the time we get ready to leave. So we will be continuing to print a couple of printers for this. So we're going to have plenty of maker chips to hand out. Um, oh, that's not all of them, though. I've also got two cases and almost a whole other like 5 thing sleeve that would fit into a case done as well. I've got a ton of maker chips in 2 different designs. Um, so yeah. Not as prolific on the designs, and these 2 designs were sent to me by K2 Kevin because he knows me and designing is really rough. I mean, I'm telling you, doing those QR codes, watching a video was painful because it was kind of just the videos of him doing things, and he's using shortcuts, Fusion, and I'm having to like, yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but it was a learning experience. Slowly learning a few things. I fixed a couple of my own mistakes even. So, okay, so where were we? Browser window. Gonna do some things in browser window. Okay. Um, Make sure you paste them though at Remurf. The guy next to us dumped all of them out and they were gone within hours. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We will. That's why I'm gonna have I'm gonna put them out slowly. But at the same time, they're also kind of, they're QR coded. They bring people to my Twitch channel, so that's going to be good. And by the way, a link just popped up in chat about Vision Miner. Please, if you need a bedded heat, give Vision Miner a try. I got some at Remurf, the little samples, and I've been using it on the Bamboo and a couple of my other printers, and I now understand the hype behind Vision Miner. Definitely give it a shot if you're looking for a bed adhesive. I've also used Bedweld Royal Nummy. You turned me on to Bedweld, and I've used that successfully on several printers. But like right now, I am printing a nylon piece. So this part here was printed in OPA nylon, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but it warped. The ends, here you should be able to tell here on how it kind of curled up right there at the end. You can see this line right here is where the bottom side started warping. It actually peeled it stayed attached to the plate, but it actually lifted the plate up off the magnet on both sides. And I printed this on the Annex Engineering K3. So this is Polymaker Co-PA. This is a nylon 6 and 6.6 blend. Right now, I have a new one of these being printed. This is like, what is it? 6 walls and 5 top and bottom layers and 40% infill. So this is a chunky piece, right? Chunky piece. But this is going to get drilled and mounted to the back of a boat cross member, and this 2-inch hole here is for the pole that goes up that the ski ropes tie onto on a boat. So it needed to be strong as well as light and water resistant. So we decided to try it in nylon. So right now it's printing on the Bamboo through the AMS in Polymaker PA612 CF. So it's a blend of nylon 612 and carbon fiber. I'm going to have to take that and anneal it in the oven for a little while as well. Yep, I'll have a couple for you, Westery, when you get there. So Tugboat lurking, wrestling camp. Okay, cool. Thanks for being here, Tugboat. Royal Noma, you switched up your adhesive to the Nano. You like better with PETG. Yeah. Yeah, bed weld works good on some things, and the uh, Vision Miner nanopolymer, like I said, it suggested using glue on the engineering plate for nylon. I actually put down the Vision Miner, and I'm going to let it cool all the way down, and it should just pop right off. So, but you need that hold to try and keep it from warping on those first layers when you're doing a part that's like, a couple 3 inches thick. So yeah, I got to take that to work tomorrow. I let the guy know I'm going to work. Um, anyhow, what we're getting ready to start off on now is we're on page 35 of the guide, 35 out of 40 pages. So we're getting close. Um, we've got full motion, we've homed it, we've calibrated the docking and undocking of all 5 tool heads. Um, what we have left, well, we've PID tuned the bed as well. And after stream, I ran PID tune on all 5 tool heads. It's a little tricky because you have to actually mount a tool head in order to do the PID tune. And after you PID tune it and you put the numbers in, you got to save the file. It wants to restart the printer. So restart the printer. Now you've got a tool head on it. You can't home with the tool head because the nozzle is going to hit before the Z end stopper probe on the gantry wall. So you wind up having to manually unlock the tool or something. So there, you've got to understand that. So it was cumbersome and took time. It's a PID tune, right? It's nothing major. Um, where on Clipper you would run the command and then do a save config and it automatically writes it. Here it saves the command. It gives you the line that you just have to copy and paste into um, your config file and then save it. So you copy and paste and save versus. So have we tested to see how they hold up to hammers? Are you talking about the nylon part here? Because yeah, this was like stupid crazy infill. Oh no, the printer. Um, well, I've run one tool into the other at the dock for, other than having to, kill the printer and start over and rehome it. Yeah, I haven't broke anything on this printer yet. Put it to you that way. Um, but next up is setting up the X and Y offsets. So this is the X and Y offset for each tool from known good point, which is that Z end stop probe. Okay, and so we're going to have to set up a couple of things here. Right now we have no tool on here. To get things started, just going to home the printer. Home all. Meanwhile, while it's doing that, I'm going to read the instructions. Perfect world. Um, a perfect world, all of our nozzles would end up in the exact same position as it had, but the world's not. There are multiple methods we can identify and record these offsets, which homing, with some being more automated than others. Properly identified, each nozzles reach the same absolute position, despite those real world inaccuracies introduced by slightly varying parts where or other. Mission guide will not cover any of these. High level overview, all methods make use of a control point. Essentially, this acts as a value by which all of the offsets are compared to. For Blackbox, the control point is always the probe. Nominal offset of a nozzle tip when compared to the Z probe, -42 in the X, because it's to the left of the probe, so it's negative direction, and Y 30.047 as the nozzle in front of positive Y direction. Explains the two most common methods are assisted or camera assisted with automatic MV. We're going to do camera assisted. If Chris was here, he might be able to walk me through, which is an automated process. I don't want to take the chance. We're just going to do it manually. Okay. Hey, Bob, welcome in. Um, so, yeah, you see one in person, right? Exactly. Um, so, if you are going to Midwest Rep Fest, my understanding is KB3E is going to have his there. Hoyt is going to bring his, which he has since, I believe, made some fixes or modifications or upgrades to. It was Chris's original black box build from before Chris kind of took over the project. So before the CE or community. This is the first kit build from KB3. This build process that we've been going through on teams has been a build process from one of the. There's been some changes that we will look at. Some of those being way that are PTFE. There's a new part that I made here that I've sent over to Chris. It's really just a support for the rear deck. Felt like the panels sag, it will flop around. It is a piece I created, sent it over to Chris. He's probably going to make it 10 times per year. Mine's down and dirty. It's 20 millimeters wide, 20 millimeters, 80 millimeters. Really just there provides support. There you go, Murph bound in T minus 8 days. And this black box is going to Murph. So we should have 3 black boxes. Steve Builds is doing a black box build as well. He's trying to catch up. I think last time I saw, he was laying the electronics in. He hadn't started wiring because he still has not received official furnace. And I'm not sure if we're going to wait for Lenio or if he's going to get an alternatively made wiring harness or if he's going to create his own wiring. But he is up to the physical wiring. That's where he's stuck at. So, so we're going to do the camera assisted version. It is extremely important that your nozzle return position regardless of how many times it is picked up and dropped off. This calibration requires a repeatable tool change mechanics to operate. This process can take time depending on the method used. Should only need to be done once. However, not again unless changes are made to your X carriage or the equip tool. If I decide, hey, this V1, I want them all the same, and I swap this tool out for a Revo, so all of them are Revos, then I'm going to have to redo the calibration at least for this first tool. I'm going to have to do all the calibration for include picking it up and dropping it off. Because remember, I'm picking it up from the front, not the back. So we're going to have to, you'd have to recalibrate everything associated with it. If you have a tool that fails, you have to replace hot end or nozzle, have you. Hey, we've got a 0.6 on there now. If I go to a 1.2 nozzle, it would be in my best interest, very least, update the offset. So this is how we're going to go through this process. And so it's going to tell us, have at it, return here when X and Y offsets are big. And by have at it, that means you need to go over and follow the Ember Prototypes Camera Assisted XY Calibration or CXC. So with that, kind of gives us the backgrounds, the requirement, hardware overview, software overview, quick start on which type that you're trying to do. Going to be tool change. Don't want to get too in the weeds on this, but we'll review it a little bit. The conventional standard for calibrating XY involved doing manual print, right? So depending on what material you're using, what PLA or ABS, you have to heat bed up, you have to heat spool heads up, you have to print some. Then you have to do a bunch of measurements. You have to go through and reprint again until you get all of your spools completely lined up. Very painful. Hey, Maker Viking, welcome on in. So by using the CXC, it eliminates the print things while you do your initial line. Then you're doing a validate. So you can get all of your offsets fine, get them entered, then you do a print validate sets. So you should be a lot closer. The calibration accuracy is going to be limited by your machine's minimal jogging resolution. For example, if minimal manual jog resolution for your printer is 0.1 millimeters, so your maximum error when aligning the nozzle is 0.05 millimeters. If you can get it to a 0.01 millimeter, your accuracy we can get to 0. Hey, Stephen Poole, welcome on in. MakerMind Nexus. Oops, 6 your time is 5 your time. Yep, that is correct. So we started off, we've been gabbing for a little bit. We really haven't gotten into it. I'll say critical to important to this machine. We've talked about some stuff that I've put together for Murph as far as, signage and stuff. I'll show that off real fast again. So we've got some signage that we'll be putting up for all of our printers. So it's just a quick little printout. It's kind of the specs and the printer name. We've got the QR codes for the Twitch, the YouTube, and then the build series for the given printer down at each signage for the printer. And then, of course, we had to try out. We've got a YouTube and a Twitch QR code goes out to the channels. So we'll have these on the table as well. The nice thing with the actual printer signage is I tend to put printers various places, not just at my table. So I can tell you we're going to have Speedy Dragon, which is the VZ bot. We're going to have Dragon Spawn, which is the Annex Engineering K3. We're going to have Tiamat, which is this printer. Hey, Pezliz, welcome on in, and thank you for the resubscribe for a total of 12 months. My first yearling. Oh, Pezliz, thank you. You've just warmed my first confirmed yearling. And what else? Oh, we talked about maker chips, right? Now, mind you, I've already got 2 printed cases full of maker chips. And then we're also filling up a Polymaker box to take with us. So we're going to have plenty of maker chips. So I've been printing these just constantly throughout the day on one of the bamboos in the Mark IV. Um, so that's been going on. So yeah, welcome in, Pez Liz. So now we're starting to get into the nitty gritty here. Um, we've we've pin tuned all 5 hot ends. We've pin tuned the bed, validated all the movement. We've calibrated the tool changing mechanism, right? And you'll get to see that as we go through the next part, which is setting up the XY offsets for each tool head in comparison to the control point, which is the end stop, which in this case is a um, precision Omron end stop mounted to the gantry. Hey Zombie, welcome on in. Yes, another tool changer stream. Welcome in, and thank you for the resubscribe for 9 months in a row. Thank you, thank you. The requirements here is the ability to jog the gantry, have, and the ability to override the XY calibration values, meaning you need to have access to the configuration of Clipper, Marlin, RepRap firmware, or what. There's a couple different things that we're going to need. One is a USB camera module. And if you buy the Blackbox pull up kit, you can go ahead and order this as part of your kit. If not, you can order this as a separate item. But this is the Ember Prototypes CXC. This is their camera module. There's a USB camera module with 4 high brightness LED, adjustable focus, short focal length lens, integrated magnet. So there is a magnet here so that you can attach it to your bed. So we're going to be using that, and that's going to keep good precision. If you don't have a magnet, there are adhesive stickers that you can put on the magnet and then adhere it to your bed. Just have a bare aluminum bed, or glass or what have you. There are 4 M3 mounting holes if you want to have to take the case apart, but you do have mounting holes for the ability to permanently mount this to your printer. I don't know why you would. Separate and use it on multiple printers like your Zombie did for his stealth changer and then the Micron tool. Surprised he hasn't done an 8-track yet or something. Software. There is a Windows app if you are on Windows. Oh, thank you for the bits, Rodney Mac, for the 300 biddies. I appreciate that. And I believe we have a hype train that just got started based off of that, and Pezliz with another 10 biddies. So thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, everybody, this is my only source of income to support the stream other than my work. So the cheers, the bits, the subscribes, they're never required. They're always welcome. They help bring more content to the stream. They help me offset the cost of printers that I purchased to build. This is one of the few printers that has been largely provided to me by KB3D. Most of the others I'm able to work type of deal on. I like to see cool printers being built on the stream and built on the stream. Please help me offset. Go with it that way. Coming up after Midwest RepRap Festival, we've got the Tugboat 3D Brook 2020 build we're going to be doing with them. We've got the Milo Mini Mill that's been sitting downstairs heckling me, or mocking me. I've got that to build, and we are on pre-order for a Rat Rig V-Core 4 300 size because I get a 500 or 400 size and I have to put it downstairs, I'm probably worst. And it will have the hybrid motor kit, and it's going to have panels with it. Yep, yep, yep. Hey, Roddy Mac, welcome on in. So, um, there's two ways that you can do this. You can download the software for your Windows computer, which I have done, and you can also use a web application and do it via web application. You're going to have superimposed crosshairs that you're going to use to line up your trigger point and then nozzles. The camera zoom can be adjusted with lighter software. Can be refreshed if need be. And yeah, it's really good. You can set it up to do either IDEX or tool. That's what we're going to get ready. So quick setup for the tool changer. We've downloaded the software. We'll get that running here shortly. Connect the CXC to a laptop or PC port. Determine whether the magnet will work. The magnet will work. Run the software. Select the tool property. Start and follow the instructions. Ronnie Mac, thank you for another 100 biddies. Thank you, kindly. Once we're done and we save our values, there is a verification model that we can do. Then it says to add it to their spreadsheet, help share the information. How you captured it. Instructions on thing, different version, using a USB. There is the ability of doing automated calibration. I'm not going to do that on this particular build. Back up here to the quick start guide. 88% through on a level 1 hype. So please feel free to continue to contribute. We will continue to move on. Just because this will take some time to get done. And I want to kind of get this started. I am going to have to do that camera. Because I have learned if the camera is not plugged in and you got to open up the software, it barks. Open up the software. Okay, so let me. So this is the application that is the Ember Prototypes application. Method that we're going to be using here is start with the printer sets, the properties. We're going to come over to tool chain. Want it to know that we're using. So what we have done is we have homed the printer, which puts us at the home position and a Z height of 15. To increase our Z height, I believe, to 30, what I saw. So height to 30 millimeters. And what I'm going to do is manually move the camera and align it with our nozzle or with the trying to get it somewhat close by hand, and I can really align it, fine tune it with the little jog of the printer itself. So exit looks good. It looks like why we all I'm trying to do is line up that full completely in the circle of get it, and we're happy. But right now, the increments I'm using are the 0. I think I'm happy there. Okay. So now what we want to do, and we've got an ad break. So I'm going to talk through what we're going to do. But almost to print time, honors danger, and we're getting close. We're on page 35 of 40 in the commission guide. But mind you, page 40 of the commissioning guide also has like 8 sections that are blank. So yeah, we're getting closer. We'll most likely push plastic on Thursday. What we're doing right now is we're setting our XY offset. So what we need to do is, now that we've got our tool head, the Z end stop on our tool probe on our tool head, lined up on our bullseye the way we like it. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Excuse me. I want to look at the exact position that's listed in my interface. So I'm going to go full display here. So one thing to note is the default setup on the config in DWC, the Duet Web Control, has a 1 decimal. So it would be 149.9, 150. Doesn't have the 2 places. So what I did was, it's general somewhere underneath. Oh, here we go. Number of decimal places, and you can change this to however many you want to display for. Because once again, RepRap firmware can be for a lot of things. If you're using it for a CNC mill, you may want 4 positions of accuracy. Right now, I set it for 2 so that we can get finer grain accuracy. The panel do, if you look at the information on the panel do screen, it does give you 2 positions. So just note that the higher accuracy that you get here, the higher accuracy you get in your sets closer. So I'm going to write down this information, or not this piece. This piece is our control. So we're going to take these 2 numbers, literally going to highlight it, copy it, go over here to our tool and 0. We're going to put these numbers in. I guess I'm going to actually hit us. Your existing machine offsets for calibration to be accurate. Must hone the machine after any changes to values. Order of operations is critical. Follow the software. Ensure your CXC is stable and does not move during calibration. CXC is stable. It's magnetically held to the bed. Order of operation is critical. Okay. Clean the nozzle. Haven't pushed any plastic. It's pretty clean. Heat to 200. Wipe with brass stainless steel brush. Don't need to do that. Nothing's been pushed through any of the nozzles yet. Back up the current calibration nozzles or calibration value and then set to 0. Okay. I think that's it. Big override. Workplace coordinates XYZ. That's all of the where we're big override. I think they get set in the place that this does. That's why I'm scrolling down through here to see where we're putting. Let's take a quick gander at listings. Big.g. Not anything in here for current tool heads on pinning and stuff. Z tools. Okay, we do have standard deviation. Don't think I don't think this matters. We're going to calculate if anything funky about that. So the numbers that we're going to use to start with are going to be the numbers that are currently listed. Move the Z up 30 millimeters. Place the CXC on the bed, drive 0 or 0 until visible. T3D changer, T0 is the Z probe. Rotate the lens to focus the I think we're pretty good. Continue. Now we can start putting in values. Absolute XY coordinates that we have calculated. Okay. Here's the thing. That's the information that we just put in. Okay. Now it's going to tell me to enter the absolute X and Y in the fields above. Say continue. It's going to say home T0 and move tool 1 to the position previously recorded. And yeah, so T1 it says is the first extruder. So we're basically going to have to do this for each one of our things and calculate the offset. So now that we've got this done, we have no tools on here. We need to load a tool. So we're going to go over to our interface. We're going to pick up tool 1 by clicking on the tool 1 header. So pick up tool 1, come back over. So tool 1, first tool, now there, and we can see that the trying to line up on that orifice. Pretty close. We're a little off. And we'll come back up here and we'll do some jogging. What do you guys think? Does that look pretty lined up to you guys? Thinking it's looking pretty lined up to me. Got a blue silicone. Hey, Swamp Dog Armory, welcome on in. Welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. Just push print from YouTube. So I think this looks pretty centered to me. So once again, tool 0 in this case is our first tool. Tool 1 is our first tool. Tool 0 is our Z end stop. Okay. So we're going to grab this position, move the tool until centered in the crosshair, enter the absolute X and Y position of. Take these absolute positions we have now. Place those values in. It says repeat for the remaining controls. So now we've got tool 1 here. We need to put tool 1 back and grab tool 2. If you just put tool 1 back, it is going to go to, it'll put the tool back and stop at 294. It won't come back to the previous position, right? So don't just put the tool head back and then click on the next tool. Click on tool head 2. It'll put tool 1 up and then pick up the other tool. Then go back to the previous position. Okay. Now we're going to be a lot closer to start with. So we don't have to do a lot of weird jogging. We may want to change our exposure a bit, make it a little bit easier to see. Seems like we're a bit off. Going 0.1 increment wrong direction. All we're trying to do is find a spot on the slider where we can. Once again, this is an obsidian nozzle, so it has that black coating. So we're really trying to find the surface, and then try and make crosshair, as centered as possible. We are pushing plastic. Not going to be 100 correct regardless, but the closer we can get it, so good there. So values 2. Okay, so those values are in. Now we're going to say, let's go grab tool 3. Again, this is kind of way well. So here's how you're seeing that these should be the same, but kind of way. Pretty darn close to me. Now I'll take these values. Oh, 3. 4. 4. Can't even see the hole. Sorry, not much on the trying to enter this. Actually centering this on the outer ring because I'm having a hard time finding. Here we get to quickly get washed out, and I'm seeing center or, but looks like I'm centered on the centric rings of the slope. So unless it was drilled completely off center, should be good here. Grab value. Paste those. um, I think that's good. That's tool 4. So it only allows for the end stop, which is the T0 number, and then it's calculating the offsets for 4 tools. So I have an option. You can either go through this process again, lining up the end stop and then doing it the offset for last tool head, or we can just manually record the last offset and do the math ourselves. So that's what I'm going to do. Tell it to trade tools out one more time. And we're going to go through and line up this final tool. Pretty good there. So I'm going to write down these last numbers. 149.4. 199.43. Just look at how close the number. Tool 5 sort of is close to the tool 3, so check the math. See how they figured out the math and then do it first. Um, okay, so we're done. We say continue. It's going to give a series of offsets. So look at our manual. Okay, not sure what I was looking for, but there must be a different. Um, don't know. Don't know what the other page was that I had been looking at. Sorry about that, folks. We need to add this stuff into our offsets. So what we need to do is come into our system, config G, scrolling down to our tools, and we have these offsets. Set tool 0 axis offsets um, to this nominal figure. Come back over to the Ember Prototypes. Like looking at these values going across. Big as that will go. Somehow there was negative. I am so confused. Um, find tool. For prototype out there. This is where I get confused to what values go. Because what I'm looking at is these values seem to be like the offset from the in stop. So am I adding or subtracting these values to this nominal in stop? That's the thing that I'm thinking. So if the probe is control point, we say nominally it's 42 millimeters one way and 3 millimeters other from the install. Because we didn't add this information in, how is it calculating offset? You see what I'm saying? I don't know if I put in these small numbers or if I take these small numbers from these existing numbers. This is where I'm at. Or actually, I know why, because we didn't start off with 0, 0. So it assumed these numbers already. So now we've got to do different math, where if I had removed these to 0 and start the process over, I will get the correct values for these, and I won't have to do any major math. It assumed values. That's why it says to make so the values that you get here, you're logging, get these. So first tool head, we were minus 0.05. 42 minus 0.05 is 41.5. I think we're going to have to start over. We have to start over. So do this. Let me put toolhead 5 back. I'm going to move my C8 or my CXC out of the way. And what we're going to need to do is go into the config G, zero these out. Need to make set the offset to 0, 0, 0. All of our tools now set to 0, 0, 0. Save this. Restart. How's it going, Tech Cheaper? That ice cream. Okay. Once again, we made a couple of changes here. Fan 2 is now our light. Changes that I made. Fan 1 is the coolant fan. Because I realized that our 12-volt fan over here on the radiator wasn't turning on at all because we never defined it. And that was some feedback I gave to KB3. So our camera's out of the way. There's no cables in the way. We're going to hold them all because we have to start from a position. May actually help it. Put a little bit of light on there along with the CHC light. If we can't get some good washing. I'm going to bring my CHC light back. And we're going to reset this. Still on. This underneath here. Oh, oops. Move our z-axis down to 30. Now we're at 15. Z-axis. We have 30. Camera in here. X negative. X negative is towards me. That's where I'm going to call it good to go. Here we go. Okay, so we got our start position. Now we're going to start with now we need to do our jog over. pretty good. Good. Grab these values. Switch over to tool 2. Fairly close to I think that looks pretty good. I want to say ice cream? Yeah, exactly. That looks pretty good to my eye. Copy this into the next. Go grab tool 3. What you see me doing is the wires over here are long. I still need to trim one of the wires down to reduce some of the slack so it doesn't catch. So that's what you see me doing. Happy with that. And we'll swap over to tool head 4. is the surface. Once again, we're going to do the last tool head and we're going to write down the information and do some calculations ourselves for the last tool head. Go over here and grab the last tool head. Looks pretty centered to me. Numbers 191.61. $169.32. Got these. A now give me the come in here to our system. Big G. On here to our tool heads. Tool head 0. X going to be negative -6. Y positive 30.0. Next tool is going to be negative 42. And the Y value, 30.19. Next one is going to be negative 42. Y, 30.6. Negative 42.02. And 30.16. Now, because I really don't feel like doing math, $191. And 169.32. Last numbers here have changed, so we can go down here to our last set of values. X is going to be negative 41.65. The Y, 30.71. Okay. Hey, Bexy Beans, welcome on in. But now we have these values entered. I'm going to hit save, run config file. Now, I should, in theory, be able to put this tool back with no issues if I hit tool 5, hopefully. And it says no, it wants me to home first. So what I'm going to do is come to macros and go to tool unlock, grab the tool. I'm going to manually put this up. Should be able to find the holes. There we go. Grab our camera and get it out of the way. And I'll be able to unplug it for now. Close the Ember Prototype stuff and unplug it. You do not want to keep this plugged in all the time because you'll burn out the LEDs. So we've now saved all the offsets for our tools. I am going to do no tools on there, and there's nothing on the bed, so go home. I like that they give you a 2-meter cable on. Okay, so we successfully got all of our tools XY offset set up. How you doing, Bexy Beans? Hope you're doing well. Which means we can move on to setting the Z offset. just like X and Y offset, tools nozzles have varying Z heights as well. This can be due to assembly part variation or simply by using different tools, right? Got four Revo uh, nozzles or four Revo tool heads with 0.1 that's a standard E3D6. So uh, we have a Z offset probe, and that's the sex bolt, or otherwise known in the vernacular RepRap firmware of the doorknob. Automatically calculate these values for you with a macro called probeTools.g. So we're going to begin by homing all. Just did that. We homed all. That is killing me, and the show stress is start exactly, Bexy. Today, I said the hell with it and went ahead and took Thursday, Friday off because we decided we're going to leave Thursday, drive part way, spend the night, and then drive the rest of the way in Friday. So we're not doing like a 12 to 13 hour straight drive, getting to the venue, unloading and setting up, and the hotel. So we're going to try and take it a little easy on ourselves. So, yep. And folks, we have an ad break that just started. I'm actually going to go on mute real fast. I'm going to eat a donut. I'm going to go on mute. Okay. All right. I just want to grab a donut. They were staring at me over at the. Hey, cool. Well, thank you, Becky. Speaking of Bexy, so talking about streaming and chilling and stuff, um, and show prep stuff. So I created these for all of the printers. Well, 3 of the printers so far. I need to do it for the rest of the printers that I'm going to decide to bring. But it's kind of like all the particulars to that particular printer, as well as um, this is the Twitch channel, YouTube channel, and then the YouTube playlist for the build series so that they can see all these. And then I also created and 3D printed these, and they work. I verified them. There's the Twitch, and then there's the YouTube channel. These are just a layer swap. So yeah, I was doing some of that last night, just kind of zoning out. Hey, Jedi Spidey, how's it going? Billy Jagan, welcome on in. Welcome on in. And like I said, our CXC camera, we'll be able to use this in the future to do other printers if I decide to make a tool changer out of a 2.4 or just do another tool. We never know. Sorry, folks. Kill that light. That's okay. So we did the home all. Now it's telling us to heat our bed up to a temperature of 60. we want the bed heated up when we start to do probing because it's going to expand. We want to take our bed and we're going to heat this up. Just click on heater 0 and it moves it active. Then you can come over here to active and or to the active heat and turn. Activate the heater of all FDM tools to a temperature of 200 and 250 C. The target tool heating temperature is based on any filament currently loaded in a given tool. The goal is to soften the filament enough that it does not skew the result of our probing test. So basically, starts to ooze out any, it can squish out of the way. So to activate a heater without performing tool macros, you can click heater in from the DWC, toggle it. So once again, we've got a heater here. If I click on that heater name, it moves it to active. Then I can come over here and select a temperature. I'm going to select 220 for all of our heaters. Okay. Now we don't have any material installed, so it's not going to do anything other than, in this case, it's going to heat up the heater, which will also, that's why we're turning all of these on. Just realized I activated every single one of my heaters at the same time, which is probably don't want to do that if I've got 4 printers going behind me. All of them are off, so kill the stream by popping the surge protector. Tell that all of my tools, up the last. Reason, oh, put it on active, now it'll heat. Yeah, so you have active and standby. So the active temperature is set to 220. If I set this active temperature to 220 and then off or standby. Other thing that I want to do now that I have all 5 heaters going, sure that this fan 1 is on. This is the radiator fan. It kicked on its own accord as soon as all those tools went active. So that's good to see. So all of our tools are at 220. All of our our bed heater is at 60. We've had no filament in there, so there's no filament. You may see a little wisp of smoke. Don't worry. These are all new hot ends. And at least the tool head 0 or tool number 1 has some borosilicate in it. So, or boride nitride paint, sorry. So it's probably going to smoke a little bit as I heat it up the first few cycles. Mike's not picking up so well today. Is it that, or I may not be speaking with my outside voice? I would sound off, but I'd probably break everybody else's eardrum if I did it because, yeah, I can use the tech sergeant voice. It is down there. So we've got all of our heaters activated and they're all at 220. Rehome the machine once more to establish a new 0 datum. Okay. Rephrase that. We homed the printer with everything cold. Now that we've got our bed heated up, we want to rehome again. And that will set a new datum, D0. Uh-huh. Telling you, I can wake some people up if you want me to. Okay. Now it says to navigate to the macro tab in DWC, locate the probeTools.g macro. Right click that and run it. What the probeTools.g macro. We'll come over to our macros. Whoops. So that helps. So we're going to come over here to our macros folder. We're going to scroll down to tools or probeTools.g. Right click that, say run macro. What it did is it just probed the Z probe against um, that piece, and now it's going to do all of the tools against that sex bolt probe. And yes, it is the sex bolt. Although I think the doorknob probe on RepRap firmware. And that just did something weird. So we're going to emergency stop. It did not move all the way over there for whatever reason. So what I'm going to have to do is run the tool unlock sequence. Get that tool off here, hopefully. And we're going to rehome. I'm not sure why it did that. Oh, hey, that hot end was at 220C, by the way. I'm going to go back here and set everything back up. 20. Bed at 60. So I'm not sure what happened there and why it did that. We'll keep an eye on it the next time and see if it hangs at the same spot or if it does the same behavior. For giggles, I'm going to come down here and check out this probe thing. See what we don't think it's going to do anything. Got the probe location. Stop trigger position. Probe point. Get in stop doorknob trigger. Okay, so tool 0 did fine, tool 1 did fine. Tool 2 where it foobarred. There's nothing that I see in the tool probe that would be anything weird. One thing I do want to do, come back to our config G over here, scroll down to our tool heads, just to make sure I didn't get like an extra number in there, something, threw it off. And that is a negative, so not not sure what happened there. So we're just going to give this another shot. Once again, everything's heated up. Gonna go ahead and do another home all just to reset that datum. Okay. Because I'm a nice gentleman. Oh, thank you, Bexy Beans. By the way, Bexy, I gotta ask, how many times did you take your t-shirt off during your stream today? I lost count because I had to keep getting into meetings, but I noticed that you kept taking your shirt off. Yeah, it was off camera. It wasn't that kind of stream, folks. But she was actually making a t-shirt for a cosplay. So she was showing us how to make it, but also how to, you know, step off camera, give it a try on, see if we need to adjust anything before, before she did final sewing. Yeah, but don't say it like that before stream gets sus. Exactly. Okay, so we got everything heated back up. We rehomed. We're going to come in here to the system, or I'm sorry, not system, macros, and we're going to run that probe tools again. And hopefully everything runs dandy. Double check, make sure we didn't catch a fire. And we'll be prepared on that emergency stop if it does weird. Okay. Ooh. 3 is way off again. So I don't know why that second tool is coming way. But I wish we had KB3D Chris on here or Poity. Once started, the machine will perform the following. Toolhead moves to offset Z probe and raises Z until the resets the height, raises again, 0, and feeds it through all the other tools. Okay, Bexy, get some sleep. Yeah, get some sleep. Um, something is weird, and so we need to go ahead and lock our tool. Get out of there. Back over here. So So get a little bit easier. All the offsets start off at is the offset here in C. Basically, what it's going to do is it's going to step through and uh, tap each one of them, and then at the end, it should provide, yeah, the probe report, which will list calculated offset for all of the tools. Have any override. Workplace core. I think this could have been the active says don't mess with it. Really, really weird. I'm not seeing anything. The actual tools, it would be free. X and Y is in the right parameter range. -42, positive 30.56. So it's still in that relative range of like there's a face or character. I see. You guys see what happened? So P0, P0, P0. 1, 1, P2, P0, 2. Copied the line, didn't fix that. So it would have screwed up on the remaining 3 tools because it was assuming X position was for the 0 tool, not all of the tools. See, that's copy paste get you. Copy the entire line instead of just a couple of. Gosh darn it. So that was all me. That was all me. Okay, so where are we at? We need to go ahead and home. get everything back to scratch. And I guess hope that I haven't pulled a KB3D Chris and bent the nozzle or bent the Revo, 'cause that would just. I think it's a 0.6, so I have extra, but really don't want to do that. If I turn all of our heat back on, funny. Bed 60. Sorry about that, folks. Is that loud enough for you, Bexy Bean? And folks, believe it or not, I've done things like that in Clipper as well. So that's not that was all me. Nothing wrong with the actual machine or the configuration of the PC and a copy paste there. So as Big Jano would say, it happens. It happens. Okay. While that's heating up and stabilizing again, I'm just going to move some more coins on the printer. That should be pretty close to warm and stabilized now. So I get this or put in here, I will step back over there and we will continue on with that next step, hitting that macro and letting it run, which should set the information that we're going to need. Turn off the light. Cooling fan. By the way, I don't know if you can tell the light. Still need to figure out what parameter that we can put in RepRap firmware to actually align it with the megahertz of the US power system. Okay, so we're hot. We're going to hit them all again now that things have been stabilized for a little bit. Then we click on macros, run the probeTools.g. Oh, whoa, whoa, what happened there? Okay, that was an interesting one. Not sure what happened there, but I will say that is the first non-successful tool change that we've had. That was weird. We will try this yet again. Okay, went wonky. Don't know what. Change anything down. Noise was actual tool locking. So let me. Okay, so whatever happened, okay, that jammed it. I think pushed the gear of the tool lock out a little bit, which was causing the tool lock motor to seize. Seize. Yeah. Okay. Try this once more. I was looking forward to this stream being an easy, lighthearted stream and everything being done. So our next opportunity was going to be um, printing. We'll see if we can finally get this thing to go. We'll be good. Fingers crossed. This macro to go, and then once this macro is done, we make the adjustment and save. Confirm the new Z offset value. Then this is where I would say is the last page has form bed mesh, load filament, Prusa slicer setup, starting in G code, test print, and standard tuning procedure apply after that, which is follow some of our standard tuning guides for calibrating flow and things like that. So that's why I said we're pretty darn close here. Pretty darn close. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody. That's where it's getting interesting. For yep, lost a lot of people. Might be over looking at Tutorial Tuesday. Don't blame people. I mean, who wants to see somebody break a printer? Things are up. Things are relatively stable again. We are going to rehome now that we're heated up. Grab a snacky. And we're going to try and run our probe one more time. Three. Oh, and it didn't drop 3 off. Well, let me rephrase that. It dropped 3 off, and then it pulled 3 back off of the tool chain, or off the cradle. So something on 3 is not functioning, which is weird. Okay. Tried to home all. That's sounding a little wonky. Do something. Hey, Solar, how's it going? Welcome on in. Holy crud. Solar comes in and uh starts dropping gift subs. Thank you, Solar. Welcome on in. I'm not sure. It may be um, catching on this piece and not letting it sit there all the way. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to do some test tool changes. I'm going to pick up 3. Drop it back off again. Okay, so tool 3 is not going all the way back, which is meaning it's not dropping it off and it's pulling it forward again. So one is skipping some steps. Thirty. Check some. got a little bit of wiggle post. Package. I'm doing good, Solar 3DP. Sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out why my tool changer is all of a sudden not tool changing on one of the tools. We've had a couple of crashes. That was on me. I'm just trying to figure out if I've damaged something now. Um, in the process of not realizing my initial mistake. Hey, Pez is still here. How's it going, Pez? Still making. Wondering, in my gear stripping, that could be as well. So let's pick up tool 3, which is the one that's giving us the problems. Back. Okay. Seems to have fixed whatever was going on. Hey, Ember Prototypes, how's it going? Welcome on in. Oh, not a problem, my friend. Yes, we did calibrate the XY offsets. So we did get that done. We did it the first time. I was getting some real small numbers and was scratching my head, and then realized it's because I didn't zero out the numbers to begin with. So I zeroed them out, got all the right numbers. We got that in there for the XY offset now. Now what we're trying to do is our Z offset. And I foobarred something. We were having a weirdness issue. So I think I've got that fixed now as well. We can get our XY to go, then we'll be really, really close. Because at that point, it will be verification step, a bed mesh, and um, yeah, configuring slicer and doing a test print. And I believe I've got the slicer config information already. If not, Poity will get it. Yeah, and thank you for the follow, Ember. Yep, I'm doing good. Solar 3DP. Mrs. Dragon's doing good as well. It wasn't a loose wire. It was. So I've crashed the tool heads into each other with a foobar on my part, which I think has done something to the shaft here, possibly pushed it back some, which is causing the worm drive to bind. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. It did go pretty smoothly. Like I said, it was A little bit of wonkiness with the fact that T0 is technically the end stop for the Z probe. Then you've got T1 through 4. Well, I've got 5 tool heads. So what I did was I did 1 through 4, got the numbers, and entered those, and then went back into the tool and redid or re-entered numbers for T5 into T4 and had it recalculate. So I got the right numbers to put in for the final tool head. And yeah, everything's coming out good so far. Now I'm just trying to do the Z offset. We're up to temp. Let it sit for a minute or two. About a minute. 8:45. I'll go ahead and reset my. Then we'll try this whole processing. Lights. These lights are bright. The Prusa XL has 5 tools, right? E3D may have only had 4 by default, but I think the Prusa XL is up to 5 tools, and this is 5 tools. In fact, Zombie wants to go even more because he's like a masochist. Okay, so that's done. We rehomed. Now we're going to go to our macros. We're going to run our probe tools again. Which is going to probe the Z against the doorknob or the sex bolt. Going to pick up 0. Go test that out. I'm just holding the wires up. I got to really cut those wires still. Yay! Oh, why was that way off? Why is tool 5 way off to the side again? I stopped it because if it kept going, it was going to probe against the bed instead of the probe. So something is off over here. Nothing is binding. Or no, the offset's not off. And I mean, that's like 40 something millimeters off. So that's why. That's all I got to say is why. Ah, because I had put P3 instead of P4 in there and I fixed it. the last time. All right, Ember, thanks a lot. And hopefully I get my plate soon because it'd really be great to have the digital dragon here. That's gonna be really cool. Thanks for those plates. Need to order a few more. Okay, so once again, we have a tool head still mounted, and we cannot home with a mounted tool head. So what I need to do, come over here to our macros, run the tool unlock macro. We'll remove the tool from the tool head. There we go. Get this put up here. Doing wrong. There we go. Okay, now we home everything, but before I do, because I'm just gonna go ahead and light all these back. Good news is I caught it that time before we crashed. That's good. Yeah, having a UI that even if it could ask like how many tools, that way it only provides the number of options. I think that's cool. Or start with an in-stop reference or probe reference, and then your tools 1 through however many. Okay, so I think we're getting closest. On a little bit, but we'll put them down here to something other than Line Digital Dragon. Let this heat up a little bit. Good. We're going to like I said, Solar, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. I really appreciate that. The declaration, RMF, Astra Nickum, Pink 3D, there's a name I know, and Killer Dragon all got gifted subs. Thank you so much for that, Solar. Appreciate it. Once again, we're doing pretty good here. We're just working through this macro. And mind you, all of the problems we had doing this macro stemmed from me when I did the last macro, putting in, copy and pasting a line and not realizing listing all of these in the config as tool 0 versus tool 1, 2, 3. All right, sounds good, Solar. Enjoy. Hey, Abatus, thank you. So we're going to try this again. Run this macro. We're going to keep running this macro until we get it done. Really need to fix these wires before I stream. Oh, damn it. Oops, sorry. Sorry about my language, folks. Is going to be now everything that. The only thing I can think of there is that is an issue with my pool motor. Like I said, I'm wondering if been something. Thing is not lining up 100% right. Um, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, so I'll bring you in. What's happening is um the okay. So our tool change. See how it just it's stalling. Got to figure out why that's stalling. So we are, whoops, sorry. We're kind of stuck at the moment because I'm going to have to do some looks at this to try and figure out why this is stalling. Um, lot of play right. So I'm wondering if this shaft may have gotten bent. So it's possible it either bent or I may have a loose grub screw. So yeah, might be a bent shaft. Um, so I'm gonna have to take a look at this. I may have boobered it, and I'm gonna have to have Chris send me a new shaft just to be on the safe side. But that means that's it for the stream tonight. Unfortunately, we're gonna be stuck where we're at right now. So let me get with Chris and see if I can't get a new drive gear fast forwarded out to us. Um, Meanwhile, let's what we have as far as data operation declaration and again. Babe Ross is doing Big Jano's doing some DNA's got some Lego going. Lego. Karen Chow's up and running. So yeah, it has a bit of a wobble to it. I need to figure out if it's just a loose grub screw or if it's something major. If it's something major, then I need to talk to Chris about getting a spare motor and a worm drive sent like potentially overnight. Or if not, Thursday we'll do something. We'll come back to this Saturday. But we're close. We are close, folks. So yeah. With that, let's go ahead. I know we created into the last, but I want to rate into her again because she's been providing some information in the background for the stream. So I just want to kind of recognize that and hanging out and chatting with her on these Tutorial Tuesdays. Everybody, thank you very much for being here. It's been a blast. We're making some good inroads here. This, like I said, I think is 100% on me. But yeah, we'll get it figured out one way or the other. This beast is going to be going to Murph, and it will be up and running by Murph come or high. Thanks a lot, everybody. Like I said, I'm going to get a raid started over to Karen Chow. For those of you that are here that aren't already in there, please jump in and let's go give Karen Chow support. She's new to streaming on Twitch. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Thanks, Pesliz. You have a good one too. I'll see you guys on Thursday, and we'll figure out the next step here. Yep, 10 days. Under the gun. Got to get her done. All right, folks. We'll chat with you guys later. Have a great night. Bye now.